Well, this is me putting work on his face. And bring SGA in on East.
Would you have put that? I think teachers
And after me in the door. I'm gonna do something other.
I got you.
After
Guess who's meal sponsored the third?
Yeah.
The noodles and the pasta. Shout out Evan on TikTok. That's hard. That's easy. Well, I had the. I almost said I
Okay, I now call this meeting of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association Student Senate to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to begin our Student Senate meeting taking place on Thursday, October 2nd, 2025 with a land acknowledgement. We recognize that Kansas State University, as the first land-grant institution, stands on the ancestral lands of the Kaw people. Our state of Kansas is home to 4 federally recognized Native nations, the Iowa, Kickapoo, Prairie Band Potawatomi, and Sac and Fox. We must remember that the land serving as a foundation for this institution was and still is stolen land acquired by white settlers. We pledge our commitment to creating decolonized spaces at the university while advocating for the support and future success of Indigenous faculty, staff, and students at K-State. Speaker Pro Tem Lee will now take it away with first roll call.
Welcome back. Alvarez.
Here.
Barnes.
Here.
Benson. Black,
Here.
Biswell,
Here by proxy.
perfect. Brown Logan,
Here.
Brown Wyatt,
Here.
Carey,
Here.
Koch,
Here.
Dunn, Dunn, Erickson, Erickson, Freeman,
Here.
George,
Here.
Griffith,
Here.
Glasscock,
Here.
Haug,
Here.
Halstead, Halstead, Zoom, perfect. Heller,
Here.
Hernandez, proxy, Holmes,
Here.
Holzmeister,
Here.
Hoffman, Hoffman, Kramer,
Here.
Karunaratna.
Here.
Perfect. Kraus,
Here.
Jacobson,
Oh, here.
Hassan Shakib,
Here.
Landwehr,
Here.
Lilly,
Here.
Mickey,
Here.
Mitchell,
Here.
Olingunju,
Here.
O'Malley, O'Malley, Otto,
Here.
Pena,
Here.
Perry, Perry, Phillips,
Here.
Palenko Castro.
Here by proxy.
Gotcha, thank you. Potter, Prey,
Proxy.
Potter, Rafferty,
Here.
Richburg,
Here.
Richenberg,
Here.
Rudd,
Here.
Scarborough,
Here.
Shellhaze,
Here.
Shirky, Shasavari,
Here.
Solis,
Here.
Springer,
Here.
Sushanik,
Here.
Trump,
Here.
Zatko.
Oh, here by proxy.
Perfect. Okay. For our proxies today, I have Holzmeister for Rogers, Shirky for Prey, Shellhaze for Palenko Castro, O'Malley for Hernandez, Glasscock for Erickson, Brown for Barnes, Jacobson for Zacco, and O'Malley for Benson. Missing anyone?
Pena for Dunn.
Any for Doug?
Did you have
And-
O'Malley proxy or two people?
Yeah.
He's not here.
He's not here, so I don't know.
I think that's.
Yeah. Yes.
You have Springer for Biswell too.
I'm sorry?
Springer for
Springer
Biswell.
for Biswell? Okay.
Oh wait, actually, this will.
Perfect. And then who was, what did you say? Christian, who'd you say
For Dunn.
for Doug? Okay.
Brown, not for Barnes.
Great. No cap, yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right, sounds good.
All right. Okay, so thank you, Andrew. We will now move into our first open period. I'd like to invite Eric Kale to the front. If everybody could please close their laptops and give him your full attention. All right, I have a mic right here for you.
All right, good evening once again. I promise after tonight you don't have to see me for a while. I know I've been around a few times. Wanted to kind of come in and give you a quick little overview, as I teased out last week or two when I was visiting, talk about the K-State Student Union. So my name is Eric Kale, as mentioned. I came here about 2.5 months ago, most recently from Wyoming, but I'm originally from Wisconsin. And I love coming in and talking to SGA because my start with involvement, frankly, what probably got me into student affairs in the first place was at my undergrad institution sitting in your seat. It was through student government that I got connected to a few other involvement opportunities, developed some mentors on campus, and then decided that I wanted to make this a career. And so I give a lot of credit to our student government officers, our leadership. You guys have a thankless task. It's hard at times. There's a lot of pressure, especially being a student nowadays with everything else going on. So I wanted just to acknowledge that. So I look forward to working more with you in the coming weeks and months ahead. And if I can support you any which way, don't be strangers. So hopefully to showcase a little bit more about the union. So I want you to think, what comes to mind, a word or a phrase, when you hear K-State Student Union? It could be anything. What comes to mind first? And I'm just going to kind of go around the room and just sample a little bit. Curious.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, all right. Yeah,
The bowling center.
the bowling center, of course. I don't mind volunteering people too, so. Yeah, just
The bond that we're paying off.
the bond that we're paying off. That's a thing as well. That's what gives us the gorgeous facility that we have. Let's get a couple more.
Connection.
Connection, absolutely.
Resources.
Resources, thank you. One more.
Campus tours.
Campus tours, we see them coming through here. We're like, there's some future K-Staters right there. Perfect. So I think you all summed up, just with your own experiences, what we aim to do in our mission, which is to serve all, especially students, with facilities that provide services, programs, leadership experiences, and educational opportunities which foster a sense of well-being, belonging, and community. I put connection right up there too with that. All right, how do we do that? We have an awesome team of about 30-ish professional staff and about 120 students that help make that possible. It's a big facility. There's a lot of projects, a lot of programs, events, services that come out of this building. We also have a ton of folks that aren't part of the reporting line for the union, but that have offices and oversee services in the building as well. So the union's made up of, obviously, the union operation piece, but we also have tenants like Panda Express, like Subway, right? That they pay rent to use this space and provide that service for you all. And then we have things like the ID card office that are more campus-based and a service for students. So all of that's what makes us achieve that mission. This just kind of shows you the four main buckets that we have within the union structure to best provide those services. I only had like 10 minutes, so I'm trying to keep this fast. I got an exciting announcement at the end of this. So with some of those services, with some of those services, we have a couple goals in mind this year. We're going to continue to dial those in. And what I would like to work towards with cooperation and collaboration with you all, our building tenants, is continuously getting feedback on what we can do to improve. How do we provide a stronger, better experience for our students? Looking at how do we continue to update and improve the facility. This spring, the K-State Student Union turned 70 years old, and looks pretty good for 70. We got some work to do. We have some challenges ahead, but 70 years is pretty impressive. We're going to work on developing a new strategic plan for the union. So our Union 75 plan will launch sometime this spring, but we can't do that without input from you all. It wouldn't be the K-State Student Union without a ton of student input. And actually, could we jump back one slide? One thing I want to point out is the two dark ovals up there. So one thing that's special and unique with the K-State Student Union is that we have two different boards. We have a corporation board that largely is overseeing like the financial element of that, of the union. And then we have our union governing board, and that's made up of 18 individuals, 14 of which are students. And that's a board that provides me advice and counsel and our team on the program, services, facility, so we can make sure that we're staying relevant and addressing and providing things that the students actually want and need. So thanks. So as we work on this strategic plan, we're going to work with those boards especially, but we're also going to create some opportunities in different committees, different engagement and outreach opportunities to hear from you all and then your constituents as well. So we'll be doing that through some different outreach events. You'll see us tabling, myself included, in different spaces around the union or out on the plaza. We're going to launch what we call a Listening to You series and kind of use that union logo, the U, in doing that. So you might see me come to some of your student organizations, some of your res hall floors. If you haven't seen or heard from us, but you'd want us to come in and have some conversation, let me know, and we can try to find a way to make that happen. Later in the fall, early in spring, we're going to look at a lot of the data and everything we've compiled from those Listening to You sessions. We're going to kind of draft out and circulate a draft plan to get some extra input so we can then ultimately go to our boards in April for approval on those plans, which then allows the staff this summer to really work on how do we make that become reality. And so we're going to be looking at everything from facility to services to programs and everything in between. How am I on time? Okay on time? Okay. All right. 4 minutes. All right. I'm going to reserve those 4 minutes for my announcement, but these are two questions that I constantly am asking myself. And when I meet with different students, these are the questions that are on the forefront of my mind. So what services or experiences are we missing for our students here in the union? And what can we do better to serve our students? So if you ever have a thought or an idea that fits these, or maybe something else on your mind, I would welcome you to either drop by the director's office up on the second floor or shoot me an email and just say, hey, Eric, got this thought to respond to one of your questions. I want to hear from you. That's the nature of my role. That's what matters for me. You'll see me down in the SPI office as well, so you're welcome to pull me aside and give me some thoughts and input too. So I'll leave those up there for a second to think about. All right. Now, fun little announcement. So on Friday, we had our first union governing board, so our advisory board, primarily of students. We had our first union governing board meeting. And one of the conversations that has been happening over the last several months, even before I was here, is what do we do about that space next to Chick-fil-A? You know, that big, dark, open window. That used to be, when they did the renovation, that's where Call Hall ice cream was served out of. Call Hall makes great ice cream. Not at the moment because they're renovating, but they're going to get back soon to making great ice cream. But that's what was there in the past. What's going to be there in the future? And the board last year provided some ideas. We worked on those. It didn't quite pan out the way we were hoping. So later this semester, we're going to be launching a new concept that I think is a homegrown concept, so not a chain, but we're hoping to rival some of those bigger chains that might actually be out there. It's been popular at some upcoming, or some more recent UPC events. We had some of these at Late Night in the Union during the start of the semester. They were super popular, and so we're looking forward to having a permanent location here in the Union for Willie's Soda Bar. So we'll have a dirty soda bar. If you're wondering what dirty sodas are, or like a soda bar, it's like your traditional soda, but with different syrups and add-ins and garnishes and glitter, depending on which drink you get. That's kind of fixed up and elevated. What makes it a dirty soda would be adding like creamer or maybe in the future, maybe some ice cream as well, like a float. So that's what's going to be going in there. Part of the reason is we have some space limitations in there. There's not the ability to have a heater or an oven or a grease trap that you can see with a lot of the other vendors around. So we had to get a little more creative, and a beverage concept works really well down there for that smaller space. So we're really excited to go down this path. SGA will probably need some help with training staff and maybe some sampling and some taste testing. So I think there's going to be a future opportunity for SGA to get a taste of what's happening at Willie's Soda Bar. So, all right, I think I'm at my time. Any questions? How do you feel about the soda bar? Are we on the right track there? Okay, good. That was a tough one to keep secret for a while, Derek, so there we go. Yeah, Vivian.
Hi, you know me very well. I'm on the board, but I'd like to ask for the purpose of this body. Who was the lovely people who made that beautiful logo, and could you give them a shout out?
Who made the logo? Yes, the union marketing team, Student Creative Services, came up with that concept, and then they came up with 7 concepts, and we took those to the union governing board last Friday, and they helped us narrow it down to that logo that you saw tonight. So, want to give credit where it's due. It's not just me doing any of this here. It takes a village, and there's an awesome team between the business office and the union, the marketing team, the retail dining services in the union, union governing board, our facilities team that is making this a reality. So, yeah.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
So, with Student Creative Services as an example of a group that provides support to student organizations, can you just take some time to, inform us on some of the common and maybe underutilized resources at the student union that are available to both students and student groups?
Beyond just Student Creative Services,
Yeah.
right? All right. That's a long list, and I did have that slide, and I cut it out for sake of time. So what I would encourage folks to do, if you haven't, just walk the union. There's a lot that happens in this union. It's a big building. There's a lot of hallways that I think folks are uncertain if they want to venture down. You can't do any harm. Check it out. Explore. This is your student union. So we've got things in the lower level like Student Creative Services, where they'll design logos and help your student organization create posters, design marketing campaigns, consult for upcoming events. We've got Commerce Bank available for appointments if you wanted to open a bank account or explore some other financial resources. Obviously, the campus store, a lot of opportunity there. Navigating the building a little bit. We've got the copy center down in that lower level. We've got the radio station. Go one floor lower if you knew there was a basement. We've got the bowling alley. We've got esports. Missing something down there. We've got Hunt Brothers Pizza and a new boba machine that just launched earlier this week. So go check that out down near the bowling alley. Where am I missing? Then as we work our way upstairs, we got Cat's Den, kind of new refresh, part of housing and dining, collaboration there. A lot of our vendors, so like Chick-fil-A, Panda Express, those, you really can't miss them, bright lights right in front of your face. Let's see, SPI office, we have a gallery, and that is right beyond this wall, and they're switching that out, so there's gonna be a new exhibit going in there pretty soon. What else do we have down here? Don't freak out about the giant skeleton outside of Cat's Den. That's UPC's, and they're gonna be putting up some signage talking about all the spooky events happening in October pretty soon. Then as you work your way to the second floor, which sometimes seems intimidating, because you go from the second floor, or the first floor that's this level, that's pretty hip, and you get up one floor and it seems like you stepped into like a banquet room or a banquet floor. That's what it's there for. We've got the ballroom up there. Inside of the director's office, we actually process passports. So if you need a passport photo taken or you need to renew your passport, we can do that right here on campus, and you don't have to find a way around town to do that service. We also offer a notary service. So if you have to have something notarized, we have a pretty discounted price for students to have a document notarized. That's all in the director's office. That's also where you can stop by, say hi to me, grab some candy. We got a little cookie jar out there. And let me know any feedback that you might have to my questions. We've got a lot of meeting spaces back there. And then if you work your way back to those meeting spaces, there's a stairway that you can get up to the third floor, and that's where PowerCat Financial is located, which is a huge resource. I've been on several different campuses and have not been on a campus that has something quite like PowerCat Financial. So use that service. I
I
think
am
a lot
so
of
sorry, but time for questions has expired.
Chair Lilly.
I move to suspend the rules and extend the time for questions by 6 minutes.
Second.
Did I get it all?
Object.
Okay, it's been moved, seconded, and objected to extend the speaker's time by 6 minutes. All those in favor of extending, please raise your placards now. Proxies raised 2. All opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion will pass.
All right, so I think that is the bulk of the services. Philip, was there one that I missed that you had in mind? Okay.
Senator Haug.
So I actually did have a question. Love the idea of Willie's. However, there are very many different places on campus that you can order different flavored sodas, like Cornerstone and Rodina's. Do you think it would be more beneficial to have a chain restaurant in whatever? But
In that space?
do you think that would be more beneficial to campus to provide more revenue for students? Remember, they have so many different resources that they could get that from.
Yeah. Thinking that how I want to respond to that there. One thing when you bring in, well, like I said, there's some physical limitations to the space. And so last year, and actually Vivian and others on the UGB might have some more historical perspective, only been here 2.5 months, so I'm going off of the notes that I've gotten. So they compiled a list of, somewhere between 50 and 100 different options for that space. And then they had to strike more than half of those because it required an air fryer, air vent, or deep fryer, an air vent, some sort of heating mechanism that we can't host back there. I mean, it would be hundreds of thousands of dollars to build that back there. So there's some financial constraints and some physical building constraints to put the heating elements back there. So that dwindled the list down. There could be some avenues. We did explore like smoothie shops, some of those types of things. There's only a couple brands that would actually offer a service like that. And then when you look at the licensing fees that those cost, it really raises the price point to be able to offer those types of services, especially in such a restricted space that is still back there. And so that's kind of how we ended up where we were. So we did look at, I know in the past, they looked at a lot of different options and pretty much exhausted that whole list. The space has been open, Derek, for about a year and a half, 2 years? Okay. So there's been a lot of attempts to try to get something in there. One of the big ones, though, is the licensing fee. So anytime you bring a national chain in, you have a lot of fees, and just to be able to afford the cost of that goes up. And so we were trying to come in with something that was maybe price-friendly for our students. It also allows us more flexibility on what those margins are. So we can actually generate better revenue while also providing a cheaper service for students. And that means less pressure on the students for like support through student fees. If we can generate more revenue, because it's not just off of students, but community, faculty, staff, that's less that we need to request down the road.
Senator Trump.
Is there a plan for like the 5 years of the soda shop or whatever? Because it's, at least to me, seems kind of like an online fad that could fade in the next couple of years. Is there a plan to keep it modular so it could be used for other beverages or something like that, so it's not just locked into dirty sodas or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the benefit of us being homegrown, is we then have that flexibility. If we did a license option, we'd have a 5 or more year license commitment that regardless of business, we would have to be paying out. So this allows us to actually be most agile and flexible. And if it goes well, we can take it out and move it around a little bit. Or if there's a new idea that comes online or that becomes the next trend, we can provide that service there instead. Yeah.
Chair Shirkey.
If you have the information off the top of your head, can you tell us what level of support could you inform, what level of support the student government provides for the evening, just as a rough figure?
Off the top of my head, Derek, I might need an assist on this one. I want to say in the ballpark of about 2 million, 2 to 2.25 million for that operation. And that includes all those different buckets, right? So UPC, CEF, so the Campus Entertainment Fund, the union facility piece, business union operations, SPI, so student programming and involvement, marketing office. I'm missing somebody else in there, but to the tune of about 2.25. Our overall operation is about 5 million.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Other questions? Okay, seeing none. Thank you very much for your time.
All right. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so for our next first open period speaker, we have Samantha Boniface from the Flinchbaugh Fellowship. So again, please give her your full attention. Keep your laptops closed, please, and thank you.
Hi guys, thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to present in front of Senate. I'm a part of the Flinchbaugh Food and Ag Policy Fellowship. I was a fellow last year, and I'm a junior here studying agricultural economics on the pre-law track. We're in full force of recruitment right now, and we're really trying to recruit some quality fellows, and so that's why we're here tonight to present in front of y'all. So the purpose and goals of the fellowship, I just want to talk about how the fellowship was formed. It was first the Kansas Food and Ag Policy Fellowship, and this summer we got to talk to some of the creators of the fellowship, and they told us that the real issue lying behind why this fellowship was created was that there's a ton of people working in Kansas offices out in DC that aren't from Kansas. And they really wanted to bring out K-Staters and Kansas that can bring the true perspective of what it means to be a Kansan, and also what it really means to be a part of ag and food policy out to Kansas and have that perspective. So the fellowship exists to give that opportunity to students and also provide them with the network to not just go out to DC, but to be successful in DC and make a quality network of people and truly learn what it means to be a part of policy creation. The program is structured into 2 separate experiences. So the first experience is the state experience in the spring, where fellows are matched within either in the state legislature, with the state agency, or with a food and ag membership organization. This was really daunting for me, honestly, whenever I was first applying, because it seems like a lot to make it to Topeka 5 days a week, but the steering committee and the fellowship is super willing to work with fellows and make sure that they can find an experience that works with them. For Andrew, that looked like working virtually and heading over to Topeka a couple days a week. For me, it was going up the hill to Kansas Department of Agriculture and going over to Topeka when necessary. And then the federal experience is in the summer, where fellows go out to DC for a 10 to 12-week internship. That can be in Congress, with a federal agency, or with a food and ag membership organization. I won't bore you too much with selection, but the application form is due October 31st at 5 p.m. The application form is on the Flinchbaugh Fellow website, and then additionally there's a resume, cover letter, issue essay, official college transcript, and 2 letters of recommendation that are required. The issue essay can kind of be broad and a little scary to think about, but us fellows are really happy to help work with anyone if you're interested. And then also, it can be anything related to agriculture or anything in the food policy realm as well. Same thing with eligibility. I won't stand up here and bore you for too long. The main thing is just to be a K-State student in good standing. The benefits of the fellowship go far beyond what one slide can tell. I do really want to hit, I know you might be thinking, why is the ag girl sitting in front of all of you guys? You might not have a connection to ag, and that's totally understandable, but really everyone does have a connection to ag and food policy at some point. We all eat every single day, and agriculture is something really important to Kansas as well. Andrew is a really good example of this. He didn't know what a bushel was before he was a Flinchbaugh Fellow, and he didn't know much about farming at all. But he was really interested in food security, and a part of food security is agriculture and production agriculture. And so that connection was really valuable to him, and I think that the fellowship is really great at connecting that bridge for students. So if you have any interest in anything related to agriculture, whether it be water issues or food security like Andrew, I encourage you to reach out and look at the opportunities. The fellowship does a really good job of connecting fellows with the financial resources. They know that it's not easy to be a college kid and pack on out and head out to DC for the summer, so they provide a stipend that's really helpful with that. And then also, they provide you with a tremendous network. You can do an internship in DC and not be a Flinchbaugh Fellow. That's absolutely an option, but the network that the Flinchbaugh Fellowship gives you is what I really want to drive home if you're considering applying. I could have gone out to DC and just done an internship and gone home after the 9 to 5, but instead the fellowship gave me a really incredible opportunity to network with some incredible individuals and K-State alum out in DC. And that has followed me back to K-State and been a really great network this semester. We do have a general information session coming up on October 13th, so not this next Monday, but the following Monday. We have one session from 3 to 4 p.m. and then another session from 5 to 6. We'll be in person in the Flint Hills room. And then we'll also have a Zoom option available too. If you're worried about the flexibility, I know it can be really overwhelming to think about committing to 10 to 12 weeks in the summer when it's October. We're really welcome to have those conversations about how we can work with you. Every fellow has a unique experience. And so we're excited to get to discuss with potential fellows what they want their experience to look like. I'll touch a little on my experience and some of the experiences of other fellows as well. I interned with the Kansas Department of Agriculture last spring, just up the hill. And like I said, I was really worried about my class schedule, but it was able to work out really well. I'd just go up the hill. And while I was up there, they really leaned into my pre-law interest as well. So I got to work with their legal team and learned how to read statutory language, as well as write testimony. And then they were gracious enough to give me the opportunity to read testimony in front of the House Committee on Ag, which was a really great experience. And then in the summer, I interned for my home congressman, Congressman Adrian Smith, who represents Nebraska's 3rd District. And that was an incredible opportunity to connect with constituents from back home, answering the phone, listening to their concerns, giving Capitol tours, and then also a past Flinchbaugh Fellow worked in Congressman Adrian Smith's office, and she was really receptive to my interest in ag policy, and I got to do sitting in on some stakeholder meetings and other opportunities that were really valuable because of that connection. And like I said, every Flinchbaugh Fellow's experience is unique to them and their interests. So Andrew worked with Representative Sharice Davids, and then we had 2 other fellows in Congressman Tracy Mann's office. And then another thing that I'd like to touch on is that this experience like I said, it goes far beyond the 9 to 5. And whenever you have people that are learning different things from different perspectives, you create that really valuable friendship at the end of the day where you can talk about ag policy and you can talk about where you disagree and where you agree. And then you get to actually make change. And that was something that was really valuable for me. And I can't leave you all without knowing that when Andrew and I were in New York City, we bought shirts that said Mommy and Daddy's Little Meatball. I give you all permission to call Andrew Mommy's Little Meatball for the rest of the night. And then also just to touch on some of the really fun experiences. While you're out in the East Coast, we went to the Embassy of Ireland for their K-State, Iowa State football kickoff, which now seems a little sad, but yeah, I'll open the floor to any questions. You can reach out to me. My email's up here. The website is that QR code, and then if you look up Flintshbaugh Fellowship, our website will come up. Susan Metzger is a great contact. Her email is up here, and then Dr. Britton, if anyone's familiar with him, he's kind of transitioning into her role. So if you want to stop by his office or shoot him an email, he's a good point of contact as well. Any questions? Perfect. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you listening.
Speaker Pro Tem Lee has a question for you.
Oh, that's such a good point. Dr. Flintshbaugh was the ag policy professor at K-State for over 30 years and worked on a number of farm bills out in DC. And his big thing that a lot of people remember about him was that he wanted to always make people laugh whenever he was having a conversation. It would be really tough conversations in front of farmers that were probably really mad because they weren't making any money, but he wanted to be able to connect with them through laughter, and he always said productive disagreement. So that's another great point that Andrew has brought up about the fellowship, is that it connects fellows to Dr. Flintshbaugh and his legacy, and really just creating a productive environment for farm and food policy. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Are there any other first open period speakers? All right, so we will move into the approval of the minutes. The minutes were distributed on Tuesday along with the agenda and legislation tracking information. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Chair Shirkey.
I move to approve the minutes unanimously.
Second. Okay, the minutes stand approved. All right, so we will now move into our approval of, oh, no, sorry, announcements. All right. I see there's a few new faces in the room, so I can quickly go over the speaker office hours. Those will be held on Monday and Wednesday from 3:30 to 4:30, and then our speaker pro tem office hours will be held on Tuesday, Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. over in the Student Programs and Involvement office. If you want to give props to someone in Student Senate, fill out the Senate shout-out form, and Speaker Pro Tem Lee will read them at the end of our meeting. Reminder, the member-at-large applications are still open, so please share the application with your friends and colleagues who are interested in serving on a committee. To streamline any communication to the comms agency, please fill out that social media post form request form. And then finally, this week we are recognizing 2 people who have been immensely helpful in their roles the past few weeks. Shout out to Senator Madeline Jacobson for being a huge help with the Emerging Leaders Program. Your support and guidance have made a real difference in recruiting the future leaders of SGA. And additionally, shout out to Wyatt Brown for accepting his role as HHS Senator, as well as a position on the Tuition and Fees Strategy Committee. Your energy and commitment to SGA is already making an impact in the organization, so thank you both for your outstanding work. So. Okay, and finally, the quote this week was selected by Andrew. So, you don't lead by hitting people over the head. That's assault, not leadership. Okay, so we will now move into our approval of appointments. Is there a motion to consider Resolution 252622? Senator Pena.
I move to consider resolution number 252622.
Second.
Okay, will the author please come forward?
Resolution 25, 26, 22, approval of new student senator. Can we fix that? Author Joseph Lilly, sponsors Evelyn Ediger. Whereas there is currently one vacancy for the position of student senator for the College of Business Administration, and whereas Tanya Dominguez has the next highest vote total of eligible and willing candidates in the 2025 Student Governing Association general election in the College of Business Administration, be it resolved that Section 1, the following individual be approved as a student senator for the College of Business Administration, Tanya Dominguez.
Are there any questions or corrections for the author? Okay. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 22? Senator Rudd.
I move to approve resolution 22 unanimously.
Second.
Are there any objections? Okay. Tanya, if you want to come to the front real quick, we'll go ahead and swear you in. Cappy, do you need pictures of this? Okay, so you just repeat, or I'll read this up and then you'll just say I will. Okay. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of student senator and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Kansas State University Student Governing Association.
I will.
Okay, so now if you want to introduce yourself, give us your name, major, hometown, and your favorite smell.
Awesome. So my name is Tanya Dominguez. I'm studying marketing and sales. I'm also getting 4 certificates on top of that. I'm a junior. I graduated high school in Scott City, Kansas, small town. And my favorite smell, I'm gonna have to say roses or probably like espresso beans, like coffee.
Perfect answer. All right, round of applause. Sorry. Actually, do you mind? Down here on the other side.
Nice job, Kathy.
All right, up next we have the approval of allocation. Oh, no. Oh my God, I'm like all over. Okay. Are there any committee chairs that would like to give a report tonight? Are there any directors that would like to give a report tonight? Parliamentarian Koch.
Okay, sweet. All right, hi guys. Just going over debate rules really quick because I have a feeling there's gonna be quite a bit of debate tonight. You guys only have 4 minutes. Please don't cuss. As easy and funny as it can be, please don't do it, because I will have to stop you. Don't refer to people's names either. You can say like previous speaker or the author, but don't like say Cooper or whatever. Like, don't address anyone by name. And just don't be jerks, please. Any questions?
Cool. Fantastic. Any other directors that would like to give a report? Director Walter.
Sorry, I don't have my just legislative applications are closing tomorrow at midnight, so if you haven't got yours in yet, your opportunity is not lost. Go ahead and send those in to me tonight, tomorrow, whenever. Interviews will be next week, Thursday. If you've applied and that you know that doesn't work for you, just shoot me an email and we'll find another time, no big deal. But we've got a lot of really great applications in so far, but it never hurts to have a few more. So I'd love to see you all apply. Thank you.
Any other directors? Chief of Staff Huntley.
Okay. Hi guys. You're gonna have an email hit your inbox at like 8:30. It's about the KLC Leadership for Free Expression Conference that's coming up on November 7th. This is put on by the KLC, which is the Kansas Leadership Center down in Wichita. So K-State gets 40 spots for students to go, given the size of our institution. So I just encourage you all to apply. There's an interest form that's being emailed to you. Fill it out. That's more so for our end. And then once we have all of the interested, I'll hold a meeting. It's just like 7 questions on the interest form, but I'd love for you all to see all of your names come through. I can briefly read like what it's about, and this like little description plus a whole document is also coming through on the email, but it's to join student leaders across the state for Leadership for Free Expression, a 2-day program offered by the Kansas Leadership Center that will equip you with effective tools to engage in more productive conversations and demonstrations about the issues you care about most. Gain powerful skills to exercise your right of free expression with both respect and purpose, and learn how to elevate issues in ways that limit risk and productively engage campus authorities. So if there's a lot of interest, like over 40, then we'll probably have to do some type of like review process, but I'm not really too worried about that until we get to that point, but I just encourage you all to do it. Or if you know people that may be interested in it, we'd love to see a lot of either younger senators or just younger students in general that are looking to get more involved go through this experience, so that way they can kind of get their foot in the door with anything SGA related or just policy in general. So send that out, fill it out. The form will close on October 12th. Any questions?
Okay. Any other directors that would like to give a report? All right, seeing none, we will now move into the approval of allocations. First up, we have Bill 252626 allocation to the Global Supply Chain Club. They were recommended $150. Is there a motion to approve Bill 26? Chair Shirkey.
I move to approve Bill 26 unanimous.
Second.
Any objection? What? Okay, fantastic. All right, Bill 26 stands approved. And so with that, we will now move into final action. First up, we have Bill 252620, amendment to encourage competitive elections. Will the author please come forward? All right, and there was no reference from Senate exec, but this bill.
Okay, it's good to be back. First off, elephant in the room, Ibrahim still has my placard. So my name is Jack O'Malley. You wouldn't know that, but hopefully you will at some point. I want to thank the speaker and Mommy's Little Meatball for having me. I do appreciate it.
Mommy's Little Meatball would like you to know that your placard is in the folder now, I think. Or it's in my office somewhere. Brady dropped it off.
That's awesome. Okay, thanks guys. Okay, the case for 50 seats. If raise of hands, who was here 2 weeks ago at introduction? Most people? Okay, perfect. Originally it was 40. City exec changed it to 50. I'm here to speak on behalf of 50. Personally, I think 40 is better, but we're going with 50. Next slide. We're going to start with where we are now. We're going to look across the rest of the Big 12. Then we're going to talk about the benefits of 50 seats. You can just click through all of them. Oh, thanks, Cooper. Okay, currently there's 6 Senate seats that are vacant. That's actually a pretty low number. A few weeks ago, we were around 10. Of the 46, and that now has to change to 50, but before we added some people. Of the 46 senators, 38 were elected by less than 5% of their college's students. 38 of those 46, of those 38, 19 were elected by less than 3% of their college students. Only 12% of the student body voted in this past election. What does this mean for us? It means not very many students know about us, not very many students are engaged in the process, and frankly, I'm not sure that this body can be said to be representative when voter turnout is so low. So that's where I'm coming from. Thanks, Anna. You can skip to the next one. Okay, we have the 4th largest Senate by number of seats. We have the 4th largest Senate in the Big 12, despite having the 2nd smallest Big 12 population. I'll preface this, hats off to K-State's recruitment team. Freshman numbers are looking up, but we still, comparatively across the Big 12, are the 2nd smallest. Again, this is just where we're at. Again, for our size, 60 seats I think is too many. Next, Anna. Okay, I think this is the most important slide. So this was when I was trying to go down to 40 seats. But right now, K-State, 1 senator represents 338 students. At most other schools, 1 senator represents a lot more. So more evidence that for our size as a university, I think our Senate is a little oversized, especially when we continually have seats that go unfilled in elections that aren't competitive. Now, I'll note if we go down to 50 seats, like this compromise would have us do, we would, one senator would then represent 405 seats. So we'd be sitting right between KU and Texas Tech, still on the very low end. So I think this proposal, especially now that we're at 50 seats, can be seen as very modest. Okay, why do this? 3 reasons. This will encourage more competitive elections. When there are less seats, assuming the same number of people run, because there's no reason to doubt that, when you have less seats, it becomes more competitive. If it's more competitive, you will see more people campaigning. Why does that matter? Do I just want to see people campaigning? No, it's not for campaigning's sake. It's about what campaigning would do. When people have to campaign, when they are self-interested in campaigning because they want to get elected, that spreads the word of student government. We can talk until we can talk for ages, and we have talked for ages about what we need to do more with social media, what we need to do more. We need to put more flyers places. We can talk about that. We can have those conversations. There's a place for that. And there's nothing like someone being self-interested in getting the word out about SGA. Why does that matter? If you have competitive elections, voters, the students we represent, are able to filter through who they want to be their candidate. And that's how this body can be said to be representative. Right now, the student body can't.
Debater's time has expired.
So it's not quite representative. So to close, I'd ask for a yes vote and interested to see what others have to say. Man, 4 minutes goes quick. Thanks, Hannah.
All right, seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there a debate in the negative? Chair Shirkey.
Four-minute parliamentarian cup? Thank you. All right, so here to debate in the negative on this bill, and the reason is fairly simple. When I look at a problem, I first have to make sure that the problem's significant. Because like all of you, I'm not just here because I like wasting a Thursday night at 7 p.m. I'm here because I want to make a difference for not only my voters, but the entire population of K-State. I have to ask myself if each and every bill that we pass is truly significant, if it's solving a problem that does exist. Then I have to ask myself, what are the ways we can correct it? What are the options that we have as leaders? And then I have to select the best one and advocate not just for a decent solution, but for the right solution for K-State. The previous speaker will show you data from other universities, and it's very reasonable to ask what our peers are doing in other universities. But I don't want this university to be more like Texas. I don't want it to be more like Utah, and I certainly don't want it to be more like KU. I want us to have a solution that works for Wildcats. There's a reason that our Senate is oversized. It's because we do a lot more than some of those other governments. And the difference we make, as challenging as it is for many of our constituents to see, and as frustrating as it can be for us to talk about sometimes with those constituents, is incredibly impactful. We saw today the director of the union talk about all the different policies that they work on, the programs they fund, the millions of dollars that go directly to students, the services they need. Not everyone does that. It's very reasonable for us to have a government sized for the people, not for the statistics, not for the local average, but for K-State. When I look at this problem, the problem that, which I do think is a real problem, we have more seats than candidates, and that's not democracy. I have to ask myself, what do we do to fix that? Do we really want to lower the number of seats, or do we want to raise the number of candidates and engaged voters? I think that rather than putting barriers up, reducing the amount of opportunities for our students, we should be knocking barriers down. We should be making more people able and willing to run for office by doing our part, each and every one of us, to make sure that every Wildcat knows what the student government does. I think that this is a viable solution, but it is not the best solution. And we have a responsibility not to do what is easy, but to do what is right. When our nation in 1969 first put a man on the moon, it was not obvious at the time that the benefits would be far-reaching for all industries, that the space race would create technologies that impact every aspect of everyday life. We did it, in the words of John F. Kennedy, not because it was easy, but because it was hard. Today I ask you not to take the easy way out, not to take the path of least resistance, where we simply turn our eyes away from the issue that we can't get 60 students out of 1,000 score, 20,000 for those that don't use 1800s math, 20,000 students. We can't pull 60 for our legislative branch? That's crazy. We need a solution to that. And we need a better solution than closing doors. We need to open up eyes. And we need to start communicating, each and every one of us, with our people to make sure that every last wildcat is aware of the government that serves them and is confident that they can be a part of that team too. Because when I look at our group, I don't see red and blue, I only see purple. Thank you.
Seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there further debate in the positive? Chair Lilly.
This is my third year in Senate and my second year as Senate Operations Committee Chair. I've been filling seats in this room for a long time now. I have an identical twin. He didn't know that I ran for Senate any of the time. Well, the one time I ran for Senate, I was a write-in 2 years in a row. Don't know who wrote me in. I didn't know Senate existed. I've never campaigned. I've never told anyone I was running. And here I am again. So not ideal, but these seats do get pretty tough to fill. Usually voting is a matter of the one or two people you don't want in a Senate seat because you get to vote for everyone else. It is not an election of very much choice, and I think that that is an issue that needs to be fixed in two ways, this being one of them, and the other way obviously being to get people more engaged in SGA and involved with what we do.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there further debate in the negative? Senator Griffith.
Madam Speaker, I have an amendment.
Okay, did you send it to Anna?
I
Okay.
All right, so this changes on line A, it turns up there. I should have updated it that it should say 50 there instead of 40. 40, I updated it, must not have saved. Everything else is the same. It adds 3 subsections to Part A that read, 1, any changes to the number of elected student Senate members shall not take effect until the subsequent general election, where the Elections Committee shall conduct reapportionment using the new number of seats. 2, all changes to the number of elected student senators shall be approved of by the university president prior to taking effect. And 3, any net change to the number of elected student Senate members must be reaffirmed by the newly elected student Senate by the last Senate meeting of October. This reaffirmation shall take the form of a resolution stating the Senate's belief that the new number is sufficient and shall require a 2/3 majority of the total student Senate selected and qualified. Should no affirmation be authored, or the student Senate, or the affirmation fail to read the required 2/3 majority, the number of elected student Senate members shall be reverted to the most recent number it was previously at. This change shall happen automatically and does not require the approval of the university president. It strikes Section 2 because what was in Section 2 is now in the Constitution, and then it adds the approval of the university president because that would also now be in the Constitution.
Okay, Chair Shirkey.
I
first I have a point of information. Are we allowed to do like questions as if this was introduction of legislation?
Yes.
Okay. So, question for the author. This seems a little technically complex, but what it looks like, is it asking for essentially a second vote during the next term? Is that what this is doing, especially in section 3? Or?
Yes, and how it would work is that the number is that a net change means that by the start of the next term, the number has changed. So it was, say there was a bill that reduced it to 35, but then it was another bill that was like, actually we are changing our position again and changes it back to the number it was previously at. That would be a no net change, so none of section 3 would be required. But if it were reduced, say, to 50, the Senate in the following year would need to say, we have seen what 50 senators has done. That's why I picked the end of October. I believe that is a sufficient amount of time to receive that much information. They must say, we believe that this number works for us, and we will continue to use this number. Because ultimately, the decision being if made by nature happens before any election can happen. As such, we won't know the full consequences of changing the number, increasing or decreasing it, until that Senate term.
Okay, a follow-up, Madam Speaker.
Granted.
Why are we asking for the approval of the university president under this? I don't believe that's typical.
Ultimately, I believe that the number of senators is something that is like so a core of at the heart of representing the student body. I don't make this decision lightly. I think that this is something that for example, the code of conduct, something that I think that we as Senate should have more leeway in changing, that requires the approval of the university president and 3 other bodies. I think that's something that, honestly, as consequential as changing the number of seats, should get that little more oversight.
Thank you.
Senator Mitchell?
Just for clarification, the October that you're referring to in the amendment is October 2026?
It would be October of the following Senate term of whenever it was changed. So in this case, yes, it would be the last Senate meeting of October of 26. If this passes.
Senator Carey.
So why would you introduce a different level of government? This is the Student Governing Association. Why would you introduce a different level of government into that, aka the president, when he hasn't really been involved in anything, at least in my time in Senate? Right now we refer to President Councilman as our president. Why would we go over to President Little?
Like I said earlier, I believe that a change like changing the number of seats is something that is very consequential and should not be taken lightly, and that's why I think it should be approved of.
Senator Holzmeister?
So you don't think that the Student Senate can make its own decision on how many representatives are needed to represent?
That sounds debate-like.
Are there any further questions? Senator Mitchell?
What problems could you see the new student senate running into, the student senate of 50 senators running into, that they would choose to do section 3 and revert back to 60?
The first one that comes to mind is just not having enough bodies to fill committees. Because one thing that we need to consider is that both the vet med and grad school representatives don't serve on Senate committees. We're only pulling from the undergraduate colleges.
Speaker Pro Tem Lee.
I guess my question to you is, under section 3, the new Senate, regardless, has to affirm or not affirm. If they don't, then it reverts back. So if we don't reaffirm next semester or next year, then it would go back to 60.
If passed in its current form, yes. That would be a question for the next Senate because they would have been the ones who, for about 3 months, have been dealing with a Senate of 50 people in this case.
Senator Carey.
My apologies if this sounds debate-like, but if the president does become involved, how would you make sure that he is unbiased and isn't selecting specific students or deselecting specific students to be in these Senate seats?
He doesn't choose who would be filling them. He would just say that he approves of the number.
Yeah, you're granted.
I'm so sorry. How would, if he wants someone in a seat, but that person is one person outside of that, and he's like, oh no, we're gonna keep it this way, how would you prevent something like that? That's a stupid question. I'm so sorry.
Changes to the number of Senate what? Changes to the number of standing members is something that would almost exclusively take place during the fall semester, as if it's during the spring semester, that is during active campaigning, and when after the elections committee has already done reapportionment. If someone was trying to amend the number after the ballots have been totaled, there's a word for that, and it's called shenanigans. And remember, shenanigans beget shenanigans.
Chair Shirkey.
So, with respect to some of the concerns of both myself and the other senators here, it seems like we're kind of getting snagged on the university president. Would you consider a friendly amendment to just not have that level of input and just let this be a student answer to a student question?
Technically, amendments to amendments aren't allowed, but But if that is what people are being caught on, I am not married to the idea. That was just something that I added at a whim.
Okay, further questions? Chair Lilly.
Point of information, you can amend an amendment once. You cannot go further than that though, because that gets ridiculous. But you can do it once.
In that case, I give my consent to strike section 2 and turn section 3 into section 2.
Chair Shirkey.
Yeah, so to clarify, I'd like to propose a second order amendment, so an amendment to the amendment, that will just strike all involvement of the university president with this process. And so that means there's a modification of section 3 and a removal of, or subsection 3 and subsection 2, and then the modification to, on 5859, section 3 that's now section 2 is getting unmodified, if that order amendment is approved.
I accept that, yes.
Okay, Chair Black.
I guess this is more of a point of information, but doesn't the reapportionment already occur? And how would it be different from the process that already happens?
I think can I defer to the elections commissioner to answer that question?
Yes.
Yeah, please, because I'm still trying to understand this.
But one is redundant because you can't remove people from Senate seats without expelling them. So even if you say now there are 40 of us in Senate, you still have 60 people that are sworn in and they are not going anywhere until their term is up.
Yes, as it says in section 1, all changes happen at the next election, and that's when reapportionment happens. Because reapportionment happens at the first, it says up there, it happens, Main Head College campus and the graduate school at the 13th academic day of the spring semester. That's when the reapportionment happens.
Senator Rudd.
I think it's important to know the rationale behind this. So is the rationale the ability for Senate to have the flexibility to examine the change and not have to go through the whole process of amending the Constitution or bylaws?
Yes, the idea is that if Senate, after dealing with 50 people for 3 months, is like, okay, this was a big mistake, we can revert it. But also if they're perfectly fine with it, it is a good number. It is less than what is required for constitutional amendment. It's a good number that say that we are all in favor of this and we want this to continue in this fashion.
Senator O'Malley?
So if we go 50 and then the next Senate decides that's a mistake and decides we ought to go back to 60, I got that part right, that can happen. Do you see the problem? What if your best friend was left out in the 10 and everyone loves this guy and they vote to go to 60 because of that? Do you see that being an issue?
That's debate.
Although notably, all changes have that even this reversion would only happen at the next spring semester. It is just changing the number the same amount. It's just saying that 50 was a mistake, we'll deal with it for the rest of the year, now we're 60. It would be the same if it was increased to 70.
Okay, in the interest of time, we're going to move into debate on the amendment. So seeing as this was debate in the positive, well, okay, you have first rights to debate.
Like I said earlier, that I will state plainly, I'm not the most comfortable with reducing the number, but if this bill were to pass, giving Senate an exit option is something that I am very much in favor of, because if it does turn out to be we made a grievous error and we need to revert that, this option exists. But if that next Senate decides actually 50 is good, it gives that option. This doesn't add any, well, now it doesn't. It no longer adds any major roadblock to the reduction. It just gives Senate the ability to, if they regret their decision, they can more easily undo it. As such, I would ask you vote in favor of this amendment.
Okay, seeing as I was debating the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Senator Springer.
I move to limit debate to 5 minutes for this amendment.
Second.
Debate's already 4.
What?
Debate's 4.
Not working.
Chair Lilly.
I think what he was trying to do is, I move to suspend the rules to limit the total minutes of debate to 5 for this amendment.
I object.
That's what I meant, yeah.
Cool, okay.
Yeah, for this amendment.
I object.
You'll have one with 4 and then one with
All right, it's been moved, seconded, and objected to suspend the rules and limit the time for debate to a total 5 minutes. All those in favor, please raise your placards now. Proxies raised 2. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, so that is approved. So 5 minutes. Start the timer. All right, Chair Alvarez.
Was this in the negative? Okay, cool. Okay, 30 seconds. I gotta give you guys time. Okay, to be considerate of everyone else. Why? I don't know. Guys, let's just go back to the amendment, please. That's my time.
All right, next person. All right, seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there any debate in the positive? Is there any further debate in the negative?
Great.
Is there any further debate at all?
No.
Okay. That was record time. All right, so we will now move into a hand vote on this amendment. All those in favor, please raise your placards now. Proxies raised 2. All opposed, same sign. Okay. Amendment fails. All right, so we will now move back into debate on the bill. So we are at negative. Is there any further debate in the negative on this bill? Chair or Senator Griffith?
We had a negative,
What?
then we went into the amendment.
I didn't write down a negative.
We
I have it written down.
Yep. I was ready.
Senator Griffith.
Hey guys, can we try to limit crosstalk, please? Thank you.
Just to clarify, for those who are a little confused, this is negative. Like I said in the just failed amendment, I am not comfortable in reducing the number of Senate seats to 50. The author's main argument is that by reducing the number of Senate seats. That will mean that the number of senators represented per senator, the number of students represented per senator goes up. I disagree fundamentally that that is a good thing. I believe that having less individual students represented per senator, I believe that is a good thing. I believe that allows senators to have a closer tie to effectively their constituents. We're not going to be able to draw perfect connections between our government system and our student government system. But one of the largest critiques people have of Congress is the fact that they're not representative. And part of the reason is that the House has been locked to 435 seats for almost 100 years. Right now, the House of Representatives, if it was as intended, would have over 900 representatives. That is one for every 30,000. That is far more representative, and I think that is able to be far more representative of the people, and I believe the same holds true for here in the Senate. I believe that having that number of Senate and its seats at 60 was chosen for a reason. It was chosen for a reason so long ago that it's kind of hard to find the reason. But I believe that it works at a fundamental level. That, yeah, we do have vacancies, and yes, as they are hard to fill, but I don't believe that reducing it to 50 is going to solve that. There are still going to be vacancies. There are still going to be people who file to run and don't campaign. There's always going to be that problems. There are other ways to solve those problems, and reducing it to 50 is not going to change that. As such, I urge all of you here to, in the name of representative democracy, to vote this down. I understand the author's intent, and I fundamentally disagree with it. That is why I urge you to vote in the negative.
Okay, seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there further debate in the positive? Chair Black.
Hello, guys. So, let me pull it up here. But I think that the original bill with reducing it to 40 senators is a lot more daunting than the 50. Right now we have 60 seats. I don't know how many are not filled, but I think it's like 6. A large portion of the seats that are being eliminated are not filled right now. And when we fill a lot of these seats, we're kind of getting down to people who are not running or are not even in the election at all. So I think that at a certain point, it does kind of get into what's the question of why are we having elections for this in the first place, right? And I mean, I think that there are a lot of good senators out here who may not have been first place in voting. And I mean, I think that's true, but also I think that if we're going to hold elections, these elections have to mean something. And then we talked about this on Senate Exec in Tuesday, but it's like 2 seats would be subtracted from arts and sciences, 2 from engineering, and 1 from every other college. So it's a lot of those seats are already empty, or we're in the process of trying to fill with write-in votes or whatever anyways. So it doesn't really make that huge of a difference, and will be more representative. And if best case scenario, 50 senators, you have to really try to get in there. If you're not showing up to committee, if you're not showing up to Senate, there's going to be people banging at the door to get in here. So I think that there's upside to this. The downside, we're not really losing much anyway because those seats are empty.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Senator Springer.
Good evening, y'all. When I think of this, bill, I think about driving through campus and seeing all the different buildings being built, the new Global Food and Innovation Center, all the stuff being built north of town. And, I start thinking, we are evolving with times. And when I look at this bill, I think this is an opportunity for our organization to evolve into those new times. Everybody's been talking about, there's a lot of vacancies in this organization, a lot of seats that need to be filled. This is the prime opportunity to do it. And if we look next year at this and say, hey, we need to add back those seats, then we add back those seats. But this is a great time, this is a great opportunity for us to look at this, take some of those seats back, get some more competition in our colleges, and actually see this organization thrive, get more members to step up and really try to change K-State in a positive manner. So I hope you vote yes in this bill. Thank you.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there further debate in the negative? Commissioner Hoffman.
Hello. I appreciate the author for bringing this bill up because I think it is addressing many of the issues that we are having in Senate. And I also apologize to him for missing his first debate. My class is always long. But I disagree with this bill for a couple of reasons. Mainly because there's a lot of assumptions that are made here that I do not believe are 100% true or will be true. To begin, I believe the author assumes that less seats will lead to more competitive elections, hence the name of the bill. With rationale that people will have to compete to advertise to qualify for a lesser number of seats. Makes sense in theory, maybe. However, I do not believe that this is an assured result. From personal experience, from my 5 years that I've been on this campus, the amount of SGA advertising has decreased, mostly that I've seen through Chalk, has decreased year over year. As an undergrad, I was a poli-sci majors, right? So I was around arts and sciences buildings. And this is one of the most competitive elections that we see. And even with competitive elections, we're seeing chalking decrease. I do not believe that cutting seats in other colleges to make them more competitive will lead to an increase in chalk, will lead to an increase in advertisements. Secondly, I believe that people, I believe there's an assumption that people will be more inclined to stay within SGA because of a harder process of getting in. And again, this may be the case for some, but may not be for others. I think a point was made in exec earlier this week that several of the candidates that have resigned were some of the people that had the highest total votes. And this implies that they're really popular or they advertise their race. Or maybe they're doing both, right? If we cut seats, those individuals would still get elected and they would still have resigned. And so cutting these seats would have no impact on the population of students. And a final assumption I believe that is made is that senators, because of their increased attentiveness during the race, will be more responsive to their constituents. And ideally, I think this would be the case because people would be forced to communicate directly with people that are responsible for electing them in. However, I do not believe that there is a culture on campus that reflects this. While some may attempt to be further involved, like I said, I do not believe that this is a guaranteed result. Beyond these assumptions, I believe that there are many potential problems with this bill. Cutting senators proportionally will most directly harm the colleges that are already competitive, such as Arts and Sciences, College of Business. Arts and Sciences losing, I believe, 2 seats, as previously mentioned, Business losing 1 or 2, Engineering losing a couple, which is not a good thing. I think many of these colleges are filled, and the people that want to be in Senate should be in Senate. Additionally, there may be severe consequences with committee seat assignments, which will have to result in changing committee seats, the amount of senators in committees, and further governing doc changes, or just flying on a hope and a prayer. Finally, we'll see an increase in student per senator ratio, which, as a previous debater in the negative mentioned, I do not believe is a good thing. We lead the Big 12 in having not lead, but we're one of the top in having the lowest student per senator ratio, and this is something that we should be proud of and identify with. It's good to have low student representation. So in conclusion, this bill is not fixing a problem, but accepting it. Instead of cutting seats, we should be focusing on creating a culture amongst KSU that
Debater's time has
dialogue with
expired.
senators and the constituents, which in turn will bring about more involvement in SGA. When Derek Jackson was a senator, there were debates.
Jacob.
And that is what we should be doing
Jacob.
to invite these people.
All right.
Thank you.
Wait, don't forget your placard.
Thank you.
All right, seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there any debate in the positive? Chair Lilly.
Can I get it?
So in my experience with how this body reacts to exclusivity, historically, before I was Senate Operations Committee Chair, the attendance policy was not really enforced. And when I became chair, I enforced it pretty strictly. If you had the number of absences and I didn't know you were going to resign within a week, you had to come to a hearing. And between the beginning and end of last term, on average, about 5 to 10 more senators were showing up per meeting. I think that there is a pretty large value to exclusivity and having responsibility that only a certain few have. It's been intensely beneficial in keeping these seats filled. And even if someone gets a lot of votes and we have to move on to the next person, then we have someone who has also campaigned, and the odds of someone resigning when they have not worked to get their seat. I mean, art-size senators like exclusively resign because they go to exec, for example. HHS senators, which is not filled right now, only have a few votes. They didn't run, they resign very frequently. So there is merit to people who have worked to get their seat resign at a much lower rate.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there further debate in the negative? Chair Shirkey.
So I've got a bit of a personal connection, personal anecdote for this. One, because I like talking, and two, because I think it might be relevant to the Senate's decision-making process. When I joined the Student Governing Association, I did so because I was a sophomore in, I think, probably around November, December, and I got this weird email from the Engineering Student Council saying, do you want to apply to fill a vacancy for the Senate? And I didn't know what the Senate was, but I said, all right, and I filled out the form. And, well, lo and behold, probably the only one that applied, and I managed to get sent into that senator position. And I was fundamentally, at that moment, not chosen by the people, right? I didn't follow, the founders' intended process of how we ought to have our leaders generated in a perfect world. And call me pretentious, but I don't think that it makes me personally any less capable of listening to the people around me and asking questions from my colleagues and friends and community members in the College of Engineering about the issues that matter to them. When we have our Emerging Leaders program and we generate, a dozen and a half people every year that want to join the government, there's a really positive secondary benefit of having a large Senate, that it means there's a lot of ways for people to join the government that want to make a difference. It is a fundamentally good idea for every member of our government to be selected by the people. And it's even better if they stay focused on the people for the entirety of their term. This will do nothing on the second part, and I think that's more important. I think it's okay if we have a large government and not everyone here is immediately given that popular vote of support, because I've seen that our emerging leaders coordinators and our appointed senators are just as capable as those that sat on the ballot box. I want to echo a very important point that the previous speakers, positive and negative, raised, which is about absences and resignations during the term. This will not fix that. It is not the last person in line on the vote total that's always the one that resigns. We can't guarantee that. It changes all the time. This isn't going to have the dramatic impact on retention that we think it will have, although it may have some positive impact. It's just not the right solution. And there's a reason it's going to require, I think, 2/3 or 3/4 to pass this. There's a reason it was so contentious and exact, and there's a reason it's contentious now. This is a hard decision. And I can't make it for you, but I can certainly say I think it would be wise if you all didn't lock the door behind you and you allowed other people to take the same opportunities you had. That's all I got. Thank you.
Senator Springer.
I move previous question.
Second.
Okay, seeing as previous question was called, all those, Senator Griffith,
I do not believe the previous question is in order at this time.
it is in order because we've had 5 positive and 5 negative. It's fine. It was Jack, Joseph, Max, Jason, Mason, Joseph for positive, Philip, Vivian.
We've had the opportunity for 5.
Yeah.
We've had the opportunity for 5 debates.
As long as you said.
Okay. So there has been the opportunity for 5 on both sides, so all those in favor of moving back to the original motion?
Previous question.
Yes, thank you. Previous question. Raise your placards, proxies raised 2. All opposed, same sign. Okay. That passes, so we will now move into a vote on the bill itself. Roll call vote. So
And
Speaker
reminder
Pro
for
Tem.
folks, for a bill like this, we need 3/4 of those qualified to pass. That number today is 42. Alvarez.
Pass.
Barnes.
Yes. Pass.
Pass or yes?
If you pass, you're gonna come back. You're gonna get
Yeah.
come back.
I don't think it's gonna pass. Benson.
Yes.
Black.
Yes.
Biswell.
Yes.
Brown Logan.
No.
Brown Wyatt.
Yes.
Carey.
Yes.
Koch.
No.
Dunn.
Yes.
Dominguez.
Pass.
Erickson.
No by proxy.
Freeman.
Pass.
George.
No.
Oh. Griffith.
No.
Glasscock.
Pass.
Hogg.
No.
Halsted.
Yes.
By proxy. She's in the chat?
She's on
Oh,
the-
okay.
the chat.
Hi, Anna. Heller.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes by proxy.
Holmes.
Yes.
Holzmeister.
Yes.
Hoffman.
Nope.
Kramer.
Yes.
Karunaratna.
Yes, boss.
Jacobson.
Yep.
Jonak. Hassan Shakib.
No.
Landwehr.
No.
Lilly.
Yes.
Mickey.
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Olengunju.
Yes.
O'Malley.
Yes.
Otto.
No.
Pena.
Yes.
Perry. Phillips.
Yes.
Polanco Castro.
No by proxy.
Potterf.
No.
Prey.
No by proxy.
Rafferty.
Abstain.
Richburg.
Yes.
Richenberg.
No.
Rogers.
Yes.
Rudd.
No.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Shellhaze.
No.
Shirky. Shasavari.
No.
Solis.
No.
Springer.
Yes.
Sushanik.
Pass.
Trump.
Yes.
Zacko.
Yes.
Okay, going down the list. Alvarez.
No.
Dominguez.
No.
Freeman.
No.
George. Glasscock.
Yes.
Jonak. Perry. Sushanik.
Yes.
On the final count, with 30s in the affirmative, 21 in the negative, with 1 abstention, Bill 252620 fails.
The next bill we have up is 252621. Will the author, Senator Griffith?
I move to bulk roll call bill 21, 22, 23, and 24. Second.
Second.
So basically what that means is we're gonna vote on all 4 bills at once. So we're gonna do debate pretty much back to back to back, and then we'll go and vote for them all at once.
Okay, so would the author of Bill 252621 please come forward?
Same thing as last week. I feel like none of this is super debate-like. We don't have a choice. The Kansas legislature did not give us a choice. That's all I need.
Okay. Senator Griffith? Okay, I thought, do we have to hear from all of the authors first and then vote on it?
Just one.
Okay. All right, seeing as that was a debate in the positive, Senator Griffith will debate in the negative.
Just because the legislature hasn't given us a choice doesn't mean that we should just capitulate.
Chair Alvarez?
Hey guys, can we try to limit crosstalk again, please?
So yeah, preferably, you know, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have Senate Bill 125 telling us to shut this down. But if we want to keep our money and if we want to keep our committees, then we just have to do this.
Okay, seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there further debate in the negative? Is there further debate in the positive? Chair Sushanic. Oh, okay. Is there further debate in the negative? Commissioner Hoffman.
Guys, thank you.
For full transparency, I'm voting yes on this bill. I just want to bring up the point that as we continue to march along this path, it is always scary that they can take this money away at some point, right? It's safe for now, but eventually it may not be, and that's scary to think about. So I wanted to make you all scared.
All right, seeing as that was debate in the negative, is there further debate in the positive? Senator Mitchell.
I encourage all senators to think about what the students would want. I don't think the students would want us to put the just renaming committees ahead and risk losing funding for crucial student services. From a senator's perspective, maybe this is debatable, but from the student body's perspective, I don't think this is debatable. I don't think senators should possibly put our student programs and the things that are really important to students possibly at risk. So.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Chair Sushanic.
I think a lot of the debates have focused on some of the doom and gloom aspects of this, sort of the narrative that our hands are tied, we're being forced to do this by the state legislature in order to retain our funding. But I think there are some really positive things that we can celebrate in this. And having to pass this bill is not necessarily capitulation, nor is it failure. We took the opportunity, the authors did, to rewrite and rework parts of our universal funding regulations to make Senate run more efficiently, more effectively. And I think the new things that the Community Engagement Committee are going to be able to do will be very productive and very helpful. And I think the changes to SAC will also help their meetings run more smoothly and not necessarily have one Sunday where you're just trapped in a room for 12 hours. So I think while this may be a thing that we are forced to do, we can look at as a really wonderful opportunity to change and grow as an organization and to celebrate the positive parts of working together and the authors who spent a lot of time rewriting these 3 bills. Thank you.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Chair Lilly.
I didn't think anyone was getting out.
I think between the 3 of us, we spent like maybe 80 hours on this. This is not just like because the state made us. It's funny to say it that way, but we also just made all of our funding regulations more universal. Like more of them apply to everyone. They are simpler, they are far cleaner, and they make more sense in every way possible. This is not just we're patching something because the state told us to. This is a full rework that a lot of time went into. And I do not think the student body would want us to lose the rec and Lafine and everything else we fund because we wanted to do some grandstanding.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? Okay, and with that, we will, actually, will the author of Bill 252622 please come forward?
Yeah, I talked about like everything this changes last week, but I do think that we can fund anything we really would have been able to fund before. It's just now accessible to all student orgs, as previous speakers have talked about. It's going to make SAC meetings a lot more efficient because we will be able to kind of review sports clubs and academic competition teams throughout the semester. Also, it's going to make the process of applying for funding a lot easier and more transparent, since right now there is some confusion on student orgs of like, should I apply for SAC funding? Should I apply for CPF funding? And that'll all be out there. And I think that like as the bylaws or the statutes have slowly changed over time, they haven't been super cohesive. Like though just going through and doing a big overhaul was good. So I encourage you to vote yes. Otherwise, I'm resigning because I'm not working on this again.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Chair Alvarez. You don't have to sprint this time.
I know, I'm not running. A previous speaker made a really good point. We worked really hard on this. We spent a lot of time on this too. If we don't pass this, I'm joining you. I'm resigning, guys. I can't do this anymore. This was awesome. This is peak. We're done. Like, this is great. Please vote yes.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? Chair Lilly.
Should I restart?
So previous speakers raised a great point. If you guys vote no on this, I can quit.
Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate at all? Fire. Okay, will the author of Bill 252623 please come forward?
We're just playing tag now.
Chair Black.
I move to limit debate to 30 seconds.
That requires a suspension of the
Are we setting a
I move
timer?
to suspend the rules and limit debate to 30 seconds.
Okay, guys, I did debate in high school. I'm prepped. Okay, ready?
Objection.
Okay.
It was objected to. Please withdraw the motion.
This would have been so fun.
Okay, it's been moved, seconded, and objected to limit the speaker's time for debate to 3 seconds. All those in favor? Oh. I thought you said 3 seconds. Okay. All right. To 30 seconds, all those in favor, please raise your placards now. Proxies are... All those opposed, same sign.
Point of information, is it total time or is it just like the speaker?
Total.
I'm taking all 30 seconds, guys.
All right, start the timer, Anna.
All right. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Okay, go. Changes to CEC, good. Vote yes, please. We worked hard.
All right, any debate in the negative? Any
You guys have
further
10 seconds.
debate in the positive? Any further debate in the negative? Is there any further, is there any further debate at all? Okay, will the author of Bill 2526
Okay. Do I get normal time?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now that I have normal time, that was fun. This is really important to us. These next two were important to me because that's the committee that I chair. But it's just things that need to be done for this last part. I think previous speakers on the other debates brought up a really good point that this can be a very positive change, not necessarily something like we're not just giving up on everything that we're doing because of Senate Bill 125. There's a lot of really good things that come from it. We're opening up to more events, giving CEC more freedom to fund other opportunities on campus, take some of that work off of the SAC chair, and then really invest in community events created, educational events created for students so that we can build that community and that we can continue the purpose that I signed up for my freshman year. So this is really important to me. This is important to a lot of people in this room, so please vote yes.
Okay, seeing as that was debate in positive, is there any further debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? Okay, so we will now move into a bulk roll call vote on bills 21, 22, 23, and 24. So Speaker Pro Tem Lee will take it away.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I will clarify. You can say yes to all, or if you don't want to say yes to all, then you can clarify which specific ones that you want to vote yes or no for.
Yeah, and I'll also add bylaws revisions needs 2/3 majority to pass. And that number today is 37.
Chair Lilly.
Point of information, because they're all contingent on each other, all of these, I mean, theoretically, people could vote against the first three and they wouldn't reach 2/3, but if that one does not reach 2/3, they all win.
Did everyone hear that? Okay.
Okay, Alvarez.
Yes to all.
Barnes.
Yes to all.
Benson.
Yes to all.
Black.
Yes to all.
Brown Logan.
Yes to all.
Brown Wyatt.
Yes to all.
Oh, sorry, Biswell.
Yes to all.
Carey.
Yes to all.
Koch.
Yes to all.
Dunn.
Yes to all.
Dominguez.
Yes to all.
Erickson.
Oh, yeah, all by proxy.
Okay, gotcha. Freeman.
Yes to all.
George. Okay. Griffith.
Yes to 21, yes to 22, no to 23, no to 24.
Glasscock.
Yes to all.
Haug.
Yes to all.
Halsted. Heller.
Yes to all. Halsted is yes to all.
Okay, I forget she's online. Hernandez.
Yes to all by proxy.
Holmes.
Yes to all.
Holzmeister.
Yes to all.
Hoffman.
Y'all.
Say yes to all. Okay.
Yeah.
Kramer.
I still.
Yes to all.
Karunaratna.
Yes to all.
Hassan Shakib.
Yes to all.
I'm sorry. Jacobson.
Yes to all.
Landwehr.
Yes to all.
Lily,
Yes to all.
Mickey,
Yo.
Mitchell,
Yes to all.
Olengunju,
Yes to all.
O'Malley,
Yes to all.
Otto,
Yes to all.
Pena,
Yo.
Perry, Phillips,
Yes to all.
Polanco Castro,
Yes to all by proxy.
Potter,
Yes to all.
Prey,
Yes to all by proxy.
Rafferty,
Yes to all.
Richburg,
Yes to all.
Richenberg,
Yes to all.
Rogers,
Yes to all.
Rudd,
Yo.
Scarborough,
Yes to all.
Shellhaze,
Yes to all.
Shirky,
Yes to all.
Shasavari,
Yes to all.
Solis. Okay, all right. Springer,
Yo.
Sushanik,
Yes to all.
Trump, Zeko.
Yes to all.
All right, has everyone had the chance to vote? Does anyone wish to change? Oh, Kraus, hello. Did I skip you? Not on my list. Did I call you in the last vote?
You haven't called me a single time.
Oh, good. Okay. What? How do you vote?
This one, yes to all.
Yes, okay. Should add that up. Does anyone else wish to change their vote? Yeah.
Can I change mine from yes to all to
Sure. Does anyone else wish to change their vote? No? Okay, great. Oh, here it is. Okay. Bills, 52 in the affirmative for 21, 22, 51 in the affirmative, 23, 24, 1 in the negative for 23, and 1 in the negative for 24. Bills 21, 22, 23, and 24 pass.
How exciting. Okay, lots of hard work. All right, so finally we have Bill 25, 26, 25, changes to the Senate Operations Committee Chair position. Will the author please come forward?
This is all stuff that the ops chair used to do or the treasurer used to do, and there's just no one left to do it anymore.
Seeing as that was debate in the positive, is there any debate in the negative? Is there any further debate in the positive? Is there any further debate at all? Okay, and with that, we will move into a roll call vote on Bill 25. Whenever Speaker Pro Tem is ready.
Alvarez.
Yes.
Oops. my bad. Barnes.
Yes.
Benson.
Yes.
Black. Biswell.
Yes.
Brown Logan.
Yes.
Brown Wyatt.
Yes.
Gary.
Yes.
Koch.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Erickson.
Oh, sorry, yes by proxy.
Of course. Noise. George. Griffith. Griffith.
We. Yes.
Okay. Glasscock.
Yes.
Haug.
Yes.
Halstead.
Yes.
Heller.
Yes.
Hernandez.
Yes by proxy.
Holmes.
Yes.
Holzmeister. Hoffman.
Yep.
Kramer.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Your first vote of the day. Very good. Karina Rathna.
Yes.
Jacobson. Hassan Shakib.
Yes.
Landwehr.
Yes.
Lily.
Yes.
Mickey.
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Olengunju.
Yes.
O'Malley.
Yes.
Otto.
Yes.
Pena.
Yes.
Perry. Sorry. Phillips.
Yes.
Palenco Castro.
Yes by proxy.
Potter.
Yes.
Prey.
Yes by proxy.
Rafferty.
Yes.
Richburg.
Yes.
Richenberg.
Yes.
Rogers. Rudd.
Yes.
Scarborough.
Yes.
Shellhaze.
Yes.
Shirky.
Yes.
Shasavari.
Yes.
Solis. Springer,
Yep.
Sushanic,
Yes.
Trump, Zacko. Has every senator had a chance to vote? Does any senator wish to change their vote? Great, okay. With that, Bill 252625 passes 47 to 0 to 0.
Okay, so we will now move into the introduction of allocations. We have Bill 252627, the student allocation to the Society of Women Engineers. Will the author please come forward? Senator Springer.
Allow the author to summarize.
Second.
Perfect.
Object.
All right, it's been moved, seconded, and objected to allow the author to summarize. All those in favor, please raise your placards now. All those opposed, same sign. All right, the author can summarize.
Hi, this is my first time up here. This is our allocation to the Society of Women Engineers. They're going to their annual conference later this month. It's gonna be really good for them. Really great. They requested $1,500 and we recommended $1,500. I think that's about it.
Wonderful.
Pretty good event.
Are there any questions or corrections for the author? Chair Black.
What are they going to do?
They well, they're gonna be getting professional development and networking opportunities with various companies. And they've made efforts to fundraise, so they're not just like begging for money.
Chair Lilly.
Where are they going?
They're going to the SWE annual conference in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Chair Shirky.
I have a real question for you. In the context of this allocation and others, do you know around how much of SAC's budget has been allocated or is planned to be allocated right now?
I can look on.
Chair Black.
Well, actually, I'd have to pull it up. We've given out like roughly $10,000 to $12,000, I think. And so we have somewhere around 28 to 30.
Cool, thank you.
Any further questions for the author? Okay. Thanks. All right, next up we have Bill 252628. Is there a motion to consider Bill 252628? Senator Shirky.
I move to consider Bill 28.
Second.
Senator Biswell.
I move for the author to summarize.
Second.
I object.
All right, it's been moved, seconded, and rejected to allow the author to summarize. All those in favor, please raise your placards now. All those opposed, same sign. The author can summarize.
Fiscal year 26 student allocations to Kansas Game, a chapter of Tau Beta Pi. Authors Max Black sponsors the Student Allocations Committee. I could just read this word for word and you couldn't stop me. Whereas they are traveling, so we can give them $150 for 1,500 total. They're going to their national convention in Albuquerque, New Mexico, October 19th through November 2nd. Attending will provide members with leadership training, professional development, and national networking. They also talked about they're trying to host the next conference, or it might be the year after that conference, and attending will help that. And they talked about how that will help K-State engineering as a whole. They requested $1,050, and that's what they were recommended. So yeah, questions?
I have a correction for the author. On line 27, there should be a period because there was on Bill 27. I just want to give you a hard time.
Yeah, there should be.
Any other questions or corrections for the author? All right, seeing none. Thank you. All right, and with that, we will move into our second open period. Are there any second open period speakers? Senator Griffith.
I would just like to come here and make a call to your better natures This body is meant to be serious. I get that there can be contentious topics, and I get that there can be some times when funny things happen. But we as an institution are charged with a serious job. Can we please take it seriously? Can we not talk while people are up in the well? Can we not talk while motions are being considered? Can we not make random motions to reduce the amount of time I'm for debate for a bit? I get that sometimes we want to have fun here, and yes, Senate can take a while. But I stayed here because of how serious the institution was in the past. And I would like us to remain a serious institution. I don't want us to be treating our jobs and ourselves like jokes. We can have fun. I'm not against that. But can we please, while we're here in this room, while we're debating things that will have consequences for student groups, for students all across university, can we please take it seriously? Can we not constantly chatter and laugh while people are trying to draw attention to important issues? It's hard to come up here. The reason I'm able to do it so easily is because I've been doing it for many, many years. But to a first-time senator, to someone who was sworn in the middle of a term, I think, like it was for me, if I had come up here in my first year, and every time I made a little gaffe, the entire room broke out in laughter, I don't think I would have returned. This is too serious to treat it like a joke. That is why I am calling on your better natures to treat this with the seriousness it deserves. Have fun once in a while, but know when it's the time and the place for that. And please, take this seriously. It is, in fact, our job. If you can't take it seriously, I ask you resign.
Are there any further okay, Chair Alvarez.
Hi, y'all. I wanted, okay, elephant in the room, not really. I was the butt of the joke with the running. That was kind of fun. You guys are so cool. I like fun jokes. I agree. Sometimes we do have to be serious, but we did work really hard on this bill. It took a lot to get there and to be up here and not be nervous because people are laughing, we're building connections, there's proof that there's friends here and we're building friends here. It's really nice. Yeah, you keep talking to me across the room. This is fun. It proves that we're friends here and we can take things seriously and we can pass things that are really important. But we can also have fun while doing that. I think that's cool. We need to remember that we're not like actually doing like insanely, like we're doing awesome work, great stuff. But we're students. All we really need this for is to build relationships and get some of that experience, which is a lot of what we're doing. So just like, don't take the last speech to heart and don't take this one to heart either. Like, this is a good time. I appreciate you all for being here and spending your time here and doing all these wonderful things. But it is serious, but it's okay to have fun.
Thank you, Chair Alvarez. Are there any further second open period speakers? Senator Holzmeister.
I just want to come up here and second what the previous speaker just said, and I also want to point out that the previous speaker who came up here and chose to lecture everybody on a Thursday night and keep everyone here late about taking it seriously, stood up here last Senate for 10 minutes and talked about dinosaurs. So I just want to point that out. Very hypocritical, I think. Just ignore that. So.
Chair Shirkey.
Here for two things. One, to plug some of the work that the executive branch has been doing. Apply for the legislative advocates thing. Also, go to cabinet sometimes because their work's very interesting. And I do want to just give a brief anecdote on engineering work, just to like show how seriously people do take our group, because it's important. You know, when I go to like the deans and department heads and I talk to them about the different challenges that our groups face, they don't see the fighting that we have here, and they don't see us being goofballs when we should be serious, or being serious when we should be being goofballs. They see the products that we deliver, and what matters most, especially when it's after 9 p.m. on a Thursday night, is that we're delivering quality products for the voters. So, good job everyone for some really lively debate. That is not bad. That is never a bad thing for you to be out there, even if you're the only one that votes away on a bill. That is never the wrong call. If it's what your voters need, it's just what your voters need. So.
Are there any further second up and period speakers? Senator Dominguez.
Oh goodness. Hi guys. So I want to say thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for having me. I have to also agree, sometimes I like a little bit of seriousness, and sometimes I just like don't want to be too serious all the time. So it's kind of nice to be able to kind of crack and talk and do giggles. But anyways, you guys made a really good point, and I really appreciate you guys. And great conversation. Keep it up. That's all I have to say.
Okay, are there any further second open period speakers? Chair Suchanek.
I want to give one last shout out tonight to Max Black, Alondra Alvarez, and Joseph Lilly for all the work they did on the big, beautiful bill that passed tonight. I know if there's any newer senators in the room, this is your first term, you were recently sworn in, it seems like there is a lot of laughing and goofing and silliness in this room, and that's because there is a ton of hard work that your leadership puts in for hours and hours and hours outside of this chamber, and we get into this chamber and it's time to celebrate the results of our hard work and actually show the work that we're doing for students. So I would encourage you guys to get more involved in writing legislation. There's so many hours of work that goes into running this organization outside of these meetings, and applaud your chairs. They did really great work on that legislation for hours.
Senator Rudd.
I'm not coming up there, but let's extend that thanks to Chair Suchanek as well for her work doing it as well.
Everyone round of applause. All right, any further, Chair Lilly?
This is my last time doing that.
I love the
I forgot what I was going to say.
All right, any further second open period speakers? All right, seeing none, we will now move into our Senate shoutouts.
Hello, folks. Tonight we have 125. Please bear with me. It'll be quick. It'll be quick, I promise.
There's been a motion to
Motion to dismiss. I'm reading through them. The people, this is all y'all. Hey, shout out to Mommy's favorite meatball. Shout out to Big Hot Dog for campaigning against senators. 6 to 7 minutes late.
6, 7.
Shout out to Willie's Soda Bar. You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. K-State X Saja Boys collab win. Shout out Mommy's Little Meatball. Shout out Mommy's Little Meatball. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to reintroduce myself as Mommy's Little Meatball. Hey, Mommy, I'll be your meatball. Shout out to Mommy's Little Meatball. Mommy's Little Meatball. Shout out to Mommy's Little Meatball. Do we need some spaghetti for Mommy's Little Meatball? Shout out to Andrew learning bushels as a flinchball fellowship. Yes. Great quote, Poe Temley. Thanks. Googled it. Shout out to Ben's Popcorn. Shout out to Evelyn's Dress. Shout out to Andrew plugging his own fellowship. You should apply. Shout out to Jack being 2 people's proxies being late. Shout out to Gentle Parenting, the Senate. Debate tonight? Never. Shout out to Anna going over debate rules. Shout out to Copper being called out like that by Anna. Shout out to Carson's fantasy team absolutely getting demolished. Shout out to Carson Rudd for being absolutely demolished in the SJ Fantasy League. Shout out to Anna and Sam's fantasy teams for absolutely killing it. Shout out to Taylor Swift, 12 tonight. Shout out to the yearly resurgence of the Swifties, hashtag TS12. Shout out to Joe Mama. Shout out to Max Snacking. Shout out to Microwaves Not Spinning. Shout out to Jack reusing his presentation to control effort placing 40 with 50. Shout out to Anna struggling to use PowerPoint. Shout out to being the 4th largest Senate in the Big 12. Let's shoot for number 1. Shout out to oversized Senates. Shout out to wanting a larger senator to constituent ratio, but a small faculty to student ratio. Shout out to the debate of size of Senate. We all know that size doesn't matter if you use it right. Shout out to comparing sizes across the Big 12. We all know ours. When Philip puts on his jacket, we know he's getting serious. Shout out to wasting a night at 7 p.m. Shout out to wasting every Thursday. It's wasting every Thursday with Mommy's Little Meatball. Shout out to not being KU. Shout out to not wanting to be more like KU. Shout out to Anna cringing every time the word constituent is said. I'm a big fan of an oversized Senate. Shout out to Phil once again having a really, really good speech. Shout out to Phil not liking statistics suddenly. Joseph, make Senate oversized again. Shout out to putting a man on the moon, the best thing happened to America since Mommy's Little Meatball was born. Hey, Mommy, it's your meatball here. Shout out to Joseph, the Senate op, accidentally ending up in the Senate because someone wrote his name in. Shout out to Andrew doing some light reading of Robert's rules. Shout out to asking stupid questions. Shout out My B for asking a stupid question. Shout out to roasted red pepper hummus. It's very good. Shout out to speaking for the 2nd time ever in Senate and it being a nonsense question. Shout out to speed running Senate. Shout out, she's a runner, she's a track star. She's Alondra Alvarez. Jacob being crabby. Shout out to Jacob having 50 tonight. Exactly. Shout out to, can I get a, shout out to 1,3-dimethylpentane. Shout out to Jacob Hoffman, love you, Pookie. Shout out to Snaps. Shout out to Cabinet for staying for the debate. Shout out to Sam Stress. Shout out to being scared. Shout out to debate in the positive. Shout out to being in your supervillain era. Shout out to making Andrew read all these. Shout out to funding becoming a lot more easy. Shout out to wanting a sweet treat. Shout out to 2 chairs threatening to leave. Shout out to Joseph to quit. Resignations for failing bills. Shout out to Alondra filibustering. What even is the point of debate if we reduce it willy-nilly? Shout out to Understanding Democracy. Shout out to 3 Seconds. Shout out to Evelyn for getting us to move on. Shout out to chairs threatening to quit. It's my favorite pastime. Shout out to I will also quit if these funding changes didn't pass. Samantha. Shout out to Tanya. Tanya, what a great first Senate for you. Welcome, Tanya. Shout out to Symbolic Votes. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to feeling like VE Day. For real, for real. Shout out to voting, y'all. This is what Ag Row is here for. Shout out to Cabinet leaving early. Shout out to Joseph being at the podium. He's never been up there before. Shout out to 3 Second Debate. That's my CEC chair. Shout out to Kraus getting to vote. Sorry about that. Shout out to leaving early. Shout out to talking in front of Senate for the first time. Shout out to anyone who is at the podium for the first time tonight. Mommy misses her meatball. I need to go home. Shout out to Make Max Free. Shout out to Sam Barnes for slaying for her first time at the podium. Shout out to Biz Cock. Shout out to passing the big, beautiful bill tonight. Way to cut down the size of government. Shout out to Fun. Shout out to Senate becoming Catholic and solemn. Shout out to the Fun Police. I hear Andrew Lee has spontaneously decided to host a party tonight at Evelyn Edgar's place. Shout out to giggling while listening to a speech about not laughing in Senate. Shout out to the Fun Police. Shout out to It's Not That Deep. They call me the woker. What? No, shout out to being kept late by complaining about being kept late. Shout out to Life of a Showgirl. T-minus 1 hour, 52 minutes. Almost done. Shout out to being college kids. Shout out to Tanya speaking in front of us tonight. Shout out to Tanya going up on her first night. Shout out to it being too hot outside. Shout out to second period filibustering. Shout out to the big beautiful Bill. Shout out to not coming up to the front. Shout out to Joseph, Alondra, and Sam getting their steps in. Shout out to forgetting what to say. Shout out to APD getting stressed during debate. Andrew, include that quote directly in the minutes, please. Big beautiful Bill. That's it.
Wow. Wow, good work, Andrew. Great. All right, and with that, for reference of legislation, bills 25, 26, 27, and 28 will go to the Student Allocations Committee. And then with that, we will move into our second roll call by Mommy's Little Meatball.
Alvarez.
Here.
Barnes.
Here.
Black.
Here.
Biswell.
Here.
Brown Logan. Brown Wyatt. Carey. Koch. Dunn.
Here.
Dominguez.
Here.
Freeman.
Here.
George. Griffith. Glasscock.
Here.
Hogg.
Here.
Halsted. Oh, she's here. Okay. Heller. Holmes. Holzmeister. Kramer.
Here.
Karina Rothman.
Here.
Kraus.
Here.
Jacobson.
Here.
Hassan Shakib. Landwehr.
Here.
Lilly.
Here.
Mickey.
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
Olingunju.
Here.
O'Malley.
Here.
Otto.
Here.
Pena.
Here.
Perry. Phillips.
Here.
Potter.
Here.
Rafferty.
Here.
Richenberg.
Here.
Rogers. Rudd.
Here.
Scarborough.
Here.
Shellhaze.
Here.
Shirky.
Here.
Shasavari.
Here.
Solis. Springer.
Yep.
Sushanik.
Here.
Trump.
Okay, and with that, is there a motion for adjournment? Commissioner Hopper.
My name was on hold.
Oh,
What? Did I skip it?
I asked them.
Okay, I got you.
Senator Jenkins.
I marked her as excused. She filled in the form, so I excuse both. Yes, you know how that. Yeah. Only for votes.
Okay, did anybody else's name not get called during roll call? Okay. Chair Shirky.
Motion for adjournment is in order right now.
Yes.
I move to adjourn until October 9th at 7 p.m. in Wildcat Chambers.
All those in favor, raise your placards now. All opposed.